If you review a Metronomy record and you give it like 2 stars, you just don't get it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
so you've read my review then?
Yeah. No, but like it's one of those things like, well, okay, well, you don't, obviously, you know, I know that I'm not a monster.
Hi there, this is Enemy, and today we're joined by Joe Mount from Metronomy. How's it going?
Good, thanks.
Let's go straight into it.
Yes.
The album's called Metronomy Forever.
Yeah.
Why'd you settle on that title? Straight into the big
Why I
ones.
settled on it? I was thinking, I keep getting asked about it, obviously. Do you think do you always ask people about album title names? I guess you do.
I do,
I mean,
yeah.
no, I mean,
It can be quite indicative of like about where you're at, where the...
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it is, I guess. It's, the idea is that it's like self-aggrandizing sort of thing. Metronomy has been around since the dawn of creation, and will be around for another 14 million years. It's like, yeah, it's preposterous. That's the kind of idea.
That's fine.
That's fine.
So you're on the album 6 now.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Metronomy lasting for 6 albums when you're sort of tinkering away at the first one?
Yeah, really, yeah. All the bands I like looked up to were kind of, I guess, career bands or in some way, like when I was younger, and I think that for me is like, yeah, like, if I was ever lucky enough to have a record deal, I just like, it's like, gotta hold on to it and keep putting out records. And I think there's always been something that's made me excited about the idea of doing more, so yeah.
So Forever, is there a chance that there's a hologram version of
That's
Metronomy somewhere down the road? You could live, like you say, forever via hologram if you wanted to.
Holograms is a bit like, everyone's kind of given up on holograms, I feel.
It was in
there
fashion.
Was a moment, wasn't
yeah,
it?
there was a moment. You had Tupac as a...
Yeah, and then there was, I mean, like, I think, although actually, no, I think I heard somewhere about ABBA thinking about doing a hologram tour. And it just seems like it's probably, you know, holograms are a bit old-fashioned. I'll wait for the next
What's the next one? It's going to be like...
It's going to be, I know, something
VR,
crazy.
It's going to be VR, isn't it?
I think so, or like a kind of cloned... If you kind of cloned miniatures of bands, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so if there was... You recreated a little... What would that be? What scale would that be?
That's about a foot or so.
Yeah. Like 1/6 versions of Metronomy could perform in little stages. That'd be quite nice.
Little mini-me's.
And then you could have lots of them touring
and
around the world at the
just
same time.
Take it easy, let the little ones do the job.
The little ones.
And so the album seems to have like a bit of a concept. It's the wedding, starts off the wedding bells in there as well. Does having kind of a concept behind the albums help you kind of get going and get a bit of inspiration when you're starting out?
It does and it doesn't. Like, the weird thing with this record is that it was actually the whole title and the whole kind of the sort of the conceptual like thing about it happened quite late on. Whereas like previous records, it's been really helpful to get going. I think with this one, it was more like there's a song called Wedding Bells, and then I was like tinkering around one day with like a keyboard and felt like, I mean, well, okay, I've been a bit preoccupied with weddings. Okay. That's probably part of the reason.
You're in wedding?
No, like I'm not married. I just don't, how many weddings have you been to recently?
Quite a few.
Yeah, you see? I've been to none. And I've been to 2 weddings in the last 5 years, I think. And it makes me realise that like a lot of my friends are going to loads of weddings.
Right.
This seems very mundane, but it's preoccupied me for quite a while. So like, what's going on here? Do I not have many friends in the end?
That's the fear, isn't it?
That's the fear. Maybe I don't have many friends. Maybe all of my friends are in failed relationships. And I think actually the more likely reason is that everyone thinks I'm busy, so they don't invite me.
That's really sad.
Isn't it sad? Isn't it sad? So like,
this is the call out. I'm free.
I'm free for weddings. Like, I'm totally free. And so yeah, that kind of, I guess the album like is supposed to pull together a combination of like these like trivial thoughts I've been having, as well as some kind of more meaty emotional stuff.
Do you reckon you'd be a good wedding band? Do you reckon Metronomy would do a good set?
No, not Metronomy, but we actually so Gabriel, he used to be in Metronomy, the first kind of lineup. His wedding was one of the last weddings I went to. And he said to me, he was like, "Oh, Joe, I'm getting married." And I was like, "Amazing, can I do the band for the wedding?" So me, Oscar, Michael from Metronomy, and a friend of ours called Owen, we were the wedding band for Gabriel's wedding. And it was like the most pure, pleasurable gig I've ever done in my life.
What was the big hitter?
We should guess. What was like a big song in the last, big tune in the last 5 years, you know? Really big tune, summer tune.
Get Lucky.
Yes! Wow! So we started with Get Lucky.
Famously the song of the summer.
Yeah, the song of the summer.
And so how would you, this experience, the album's been about 3-4 years since your last record.
Yeah.
How would you kind of compare this one to the last one? Was it an enjoyable experience? Was it quite different? Was it tricky?
The last one, so the last record, Summer '08, was supposed to be a sort of a full stop in like in the sentence, in the paragraph that is Metronomy, and like so we'd been touring. Like I'd had a second child, and I wanted to just like go into the studio and record a record for fun, and that was the last album. That was Summer '08. It was supposed to be released. We weren't going to tour it, and then there would be a follow-up record to that. In the end, the time that passed between the two records was a bit longer than it was supposed to be, but this album was always going to be a more like kind of important record, if you see what I mean, like more kind of, because we're kind of, you know, it's like a proper release. We're promoting it and touring it. Metronomy Forever is a much more like important record, I think, and so it was kind of easy in a way. Alongside making it, I was working with Robyn on her album, and so that became very like that kind of took over my Robyn record took over my life, and once that was finished and I was able to kind of concentrate on the Metronomy album, I kind of felt a bit, I don't know, like I had a version of the album which was much shorter and much kind of colder, and that's what I felt like anyhow. The first version was kind of easy to do, but it wasn't very good.
Okay.
So I had to kind of work back into it a bit.
And so last year, or quite recently, you sort of worked on a reissue of Nights Out. That was 10 years old. What was it like revisiting that time period and those sessions?
Yeah, it was fun. Like it was. I've got this laptop which I kind of closed symbolically, like slammed shut when I finished Nights Out, and I opened it again for the reissue to find some kind of older like tracks, whatever, B-sides. But yeah, I was like in my kind of mid-20s or late 20s, and yeah, like everything's different. You know, I think that was the thing as well with Summer '08, was it was kind of drawing attention to these like a period since Nights Out is like everything has changed for, you know, I went from being just a kind of whatever, like a aspiring band person, bandman, to making it happen, and like now having kids, and I know, like everything changed. So going back, that's kind of weird. It's like looking at old pictures.
Are you quite a nostalgic person in the way that you look back at your sort of career quite a lot? You're always thinking.
I don't know. I think probably. I think for me, I feel like the music. You know, when you're young, that music has this most kind of like, it really is when it kind of consumes you, you know. And I think you become super obsessed with like bands and the fashion of bands, and they get, you know, it's very formative when you're young. And I guess I'm a bit nostalgic for that, for when music meant that to me, you know.
And what's something you've kind of learned maybe from this album or just over the career that you would have liked to have known then? Was there a key bit of sort of production technique, or sort of like writing, or?
I guess I would think that now I understand that like it is just making music, which is really wicked. Like that's the fun thing. Releasing records is kind of quite intimidating, and you're kind of like exposing yourself to criticism.
Did you find it quite hard at first putting records out and getting reviews in and like having
yeah,
people give their feedback, even if you didn't ask for it, you know?
Yeah, no, but you asked for it. That's the thing. You asked for it completely, and like I think I knew that was part of the process. But what I didn't realize is that some people might not like it. You just assume it's like, well, like this is totally obviously good.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna sit back and wait for these like 5-star reviews to roll in, and then you're like, what? Hang on. You don't seem to understand. Excuse me.
This is actually amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you've been going for 15 years now, something like that? Or?
So I think the first record was out 14 or 15 years ago, yeah. But then I remember like the name. So I think I came up with the name 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did it go through so many different versions between?
What do you mean of the name?
When you had the name and the band and yourself?
It was quite kind of, yeah. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, that's I think the thing that's kind of a bit special about Metronomy really is that like it's the same as it was like when I was like when I was 17 or 18 or whatever. Like it's like it hasn't really changed much, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
And so you guys haven't really changed them up. The pop world has changed quite a lot. You've gone from having sort of big stars, now you've got a new generation. What do you kind of make of this new landscape of pop music that you're kind of operating within and sort of outside of a little bit of both?
But what is the new landscape? Who is it?
You've got Billie Eilish, people like that are just doing their own thing.
Yeah, that's always the case. Like I guess music changes a bit, but it's still like you need some good songs. I guess I don't really hear it as being like super different to like when Lady Gaga released something. You know what I mean? Like in terms of it being
I think
like,
it's
wow.
people latch on to having an icon and like having someone to look forward to.
Yeah.
I guess you still got that, you know, someone like Robyn, for example, that you worked with, and you worked with on her last album, a bit of production work. Mm-hmm. Had you done that kind of production work before?
I did bits and bobs, yeah. I mean, I kind of, a few things. But yeah, I basically did, like, so the Robyn, the album, like I was involved kind of in producing the record. And, you know, she's really interesting because she sort of was the template in a way for a lot of that sort of outsidery pop, like, star, you know, like I think without Robyn you wouldn't have, you know, like she made it easier for people like, I don't know, Lady Gaga or whatever, or Katy Perry to go a bit kind of Robyn.
Yeah,
you know, like she created a new place for like for female like pop stars to exist, where it's like you do, you know, you write your songs, you do what you want, you kind of completely in control of the image, like so I think she's very like culturally important.
I think it's the way all pop stars and rock stars should be. It scares your parents a little bit.
Yes, true. I mean, the videos are a bit scary. I was watching, like, because we were trying to prepare a Billie Eilish cover, and I was on the train watching some videos, and I was a bit anxious for people behind me. They might, you know. And
you were talking about the production work. What kind of biggest lessons did you take from working on an album like that into your own sort of process, or if anything, did you? Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of stuff. I think probably that you just have to, like, working on someone else's record has to become as important to you as working on your own record. You know, like you can't think it's just going to be like I thought it would be easier than it was, basically. And again, it's like you just have to let it take as long as it takes and enjoy the fact that it's like a process rather than something kind of like quick and easy. And would you like to do a bit more production? Is there anyone else you think you'd be a good fit for? I'd love, I mean, I want to do lots of production. I want to do I'd like to do a proper kind of band record, like to produce a band. But I don't know who. Whoever's good. Whoever's good. You're available. I'm available for whoever's good. No, I mean, I think that's the thing as well. Like the idea of, I really love the idea of like working with like new people as much as established people. Like I think, you know, like if I was to do a song with Taylor Swift, it wouldn't be particularly good probably, or you know, it wouldn't be like as exciting as if I did like an album with someone younger and newer, and like I think that'd be
ready
fun.
to learn and explore. And
I guess like you kind of give someone a sound, like help someone create that kind of, help someone find their like sound rather than try and fit into where they are.
And so the album's out September 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Friday 13th.
Unlucky for everyone.
If you had one word to sum up the Metronomy Forever album, what would you use?
One word.
One word.
Long.
Long. You can listen to Metronomy's Long album on September 13th.
Or pretentious.
Or pretentious. Long and pretentious. It's going to be a hoot. Thank you very much for watching.